Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining us. We have Taylor Bruni with us. She's going to be talking about doing digital products. If you haven't met her, she's here once a month talking to the female physician entrepreneurs. Her VA agency is the Medical Minder virtual agency, and she helps women physicians or all types of physicians with social media, with digital products, with marketing. So reach out to her. Um, a number of women in the female physician entrepreneurs group have already used her. She's well vetted. And on top of that, just want to say financial disclosure, there is none. I don't make any money off of this. I'm truly just happy to have her here and to educate us.
Thank you so much, Sharon, for having me. And hello again to everyone. I really appreciate you guys taking time to listen. So I created a quick presentation. It's shorter just to kind of go over general of the digital products that have worked the best for physicians and their businesses. And then at the end, I have a section for questions and more personalized questions as well. Um, all right, I'm going to share my screen. Give me one moment. Let me view this full screen. Okay. Oops. I think someone's coming in too.
I'll get that.
Perfect.
I'm putting a note in the group as well.
Okay. So today we're going to be talking about profitable digital products for physicians, creating them, launching and selling, in general and on social media, how that can help. Um, the purpose is to empower you guys to, monetize your expertise, your education, your knowledge and wisdom, because it is priceless and you've worked so hard to get to where you are that being able to monetize off social media, off digital products is something that you guys can definitely tap into, and use as a passive income. So today, the two top digital products that I've seen physicians do really well with, and it's super, easy and accessible and most enjoyable for them that we're going to be talking about are online courses and the ebooks. Um, so why digital products, real quick, is like I was saying, so you can do low overhead costs of setting things up, hiring a VA or a specialist in marketing for physicians to help create and brainstorm these products and then build the funnels for you. Flexible creation, working around your timeline if you have a family or a business and you work in clinic. It is scalable income. You can make so much money off of just courses, doing mini courses, longer, higher chief offer courses, and then just ebooks, whether you self-publish them or just sell them as, quick guides, through ads or social media or email lists. Oh, okay. Hold on, I'm going to move the little box over here. So online courses, so it's in-depth teaching on, your medical specialty, if you're an OBGYN, different aspects of that, or if you're in obese medicine, you can, teach on the different medical related topics in that, how you help your patient, like if you come across different general questions that you're getting from a lot of your patients, you can create courses off of those questions. Then it would not only be great for the audience that you're trying to serve online, but also for your patient. And you can bring in more patients that way. And then ebooks, great for quick, accessible insights. And this is also a good stepping stone to do before courses to test out different ideas, different topics. And then two, I mean, there's so many, so many physicians that have done courses and ebooks, but two of them that I wanted to show some examples and topics today is Dr. Jess MD, and then Dr. Tyler Jean. He's a naturopathic doctor, but he's really well known in the naturopathic integrative space. And then Dr. Jess MD is really known, online with her presence and then her memberships that she does, and then online products.
Taylor, I wanted to mention Take a look at the branding overall. Like a website is there, a pretty picture, the fonts that Taylor chose to do this slide, like all this to keep in mind when you're doing ebooks, when you're doing any type of digital product. The look, like obviously it's the content, but also the presentation too makes such a difference.
Yeah, and like even when you do like your slideshows that you present in your videos for your courses, to have it cohesive and aligned with your branding is really good. And when I build out online courses for physicians, I also help them create the slideshows as well. And then we make sure everything like the thumbnails, the slideshows, everything is just on brand so that people know, what they're going to get and they know they can recognize your brand. Okay, so some topics from Dr. Jess MD and Dr. Tyler Jean that they've done is a little bit more integrative, but it can be as simple as, parasites and heavy metals, teaching people about that, or drainage pathways for detox, fasting, ADHD, therapeutic diets, emotions. A lot of, you could do like ER doctors could do like trauma healing, dealing with emotional trauma. I mean, you could just be so creative. Breast implant illness, food allergies, sensitivities for like GI doctors, sleep, metabolism, weight management. So these are like ideas for not only courses, but also ebooks that you could do as well. And there's a few others. Environmental toxins, root cause solutions, and then like foundations for health. And that could be any doctor, really, just foundations for whatever you're teaching. And then give them like applicable steps and guidance throughout and coaching throughout it. Like for instance, pregnancy, coaching for pregnancy. You can do foundations for pregnancy. You can go into detail of like diets for pregnancy, stress management for pregnancy, those types of foundations that aren't as much covered in a basic OBGYN visit. It's gone through quickly, but you can go more in depth in these foundations course. And then obviously fertility, is a big one. And then gut health. And then so selecting your topic, and this is the fun part because you get to see and really create what your dreams are. So, you know, you have so much knowledge, but you can be so unique in selecting your topic. Obviously, consider your expertise, your professional knowledge, what sets you apart in your medical career, or in your business, online business or coaching career. Because you have, I'm sure, every single one of you has, credentials, unique experiences, and then even, like thought leader experience, whether you've given talks, you've spoken at medical conferences, you're on a medical board, etc. You just really want to consider all areas of your expertise so that you can stand out as the main thought leader for selling these digital products. And then addressing your audience's pain points, which you can do through social media, your ebooks, your emails, Facebook groups, going in and searching and seeing, like what people talk about. Like if you're an OBGYN for pregnancy coaching, you can go in pregnancy Facebook groups and look at, some of the pain point posts, what people are talking about, what they need help with, what they couldn't get help with at their basic visit. And you can compile like a list and go through that and see if you can build mini courses or different modules, or just smaller ebooks, as lead magnets, or even use them as your masterclass webinar prior to launching your digital product. And then that's kind of like using market research tools as well. So you want to look on, other competitors, what they're doing with their content, what they're doing with their email, what they're doing with their landing page, etc. So you do want to do your research prior, or you can have, strategy sessions with physician marketing like myself where I can help you create and do the research for you so you don't have to research, save you some time. But yeah, there's so many ways that you can select your topic. It's the most fun part that every client has, because it's essentially continuing to build your brand and your business, and building off that.
Just one thing. Do you guys know what a lead magnet is, everybody? Lena, CD, Lori?
Yep.
Okay. Ask questions. It's okay to like raise your hand or thanks, Taylor.
Okay, yeah. And I'll be also talking about like sales funnels and lead magnets more in depth too in the next couple months, and actually going into talking in depth about online courses, I think in May, where, I walk you through everything. So this is just a basic outline to kind of get your creativity sparked and kind of understand the process. So steps to creating online courses, very basic, but outlining, starting to think now of an outline, of your learning objectives, who your ideal student, avatar is, because how you create the copy and the content of your course, will directly be related to your avatar of the ideal student who you want to sell to and what their pain points are. So you want to break down the content in your education into modules, or lessons. And, the modules will have like a video with like a slideshow where you explain, or just an audio recording. It really depends, but the videos is what sells the most, and what people want to buy and learn from because they'll see your face. And then you will begin recording, and you can use tools, recording and designing, for recording using like Zoom or Loom. Those two are really good, and the quality doesn't go terrible when you transfer and upload and edit. So those two, Zoom and Loom for recording, and then for like designing slides, obviously Microsoft Excel, or not Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint or Canva. Canva, you can add more graphics and branding and do your exact same branding colors through Canva. So I've used Canva for my own as well as clients, and it turns out much more cohesive and it's just easier, user friendly. And then, yeah, you want to keep the videos concise, engaging. And then you want to kind of test and refine. So you want to share some some people share, with a small group for feedback. So they give the course for free for like certain high influencers, or just like a feedback of your friends that you trust or colleagues that you trust. You give it to them for free. They go through it, and then, in return, they give feedback and a testimonial. Both those things, you can use to, one, leverage, and go into more sales, put those testimonials on your landing page and your socials. But you can also know, okay, is it user friendly, or is there too much medical jargon? Is it understandable in the community, etc. So you want to make sure you do that test, with a few small people that you trust, that has knowledge of your topic and is understanding of it. And then easy steps to create an ebook: create an outline like the course, with your problem, your solution, and then next steps, resources. You want to give actionable steps, but you also want to give resources like how they can continue on their journey with you, aka coaching or your online course. So you always want to kind of upsell in your ebook as well. So it's good to be working on your ebooks and your courses at the same time. I know it's a lot, but if do it by section, each month, and then, your goal is to launch your ebook first, then at least you'll have that. But then right after you can launch your course, etc. But you want to plan with the problem, solution, next steps, and resources for them so that they take action. And then designing the layout, once again, Canva or Adobe InDesign. Canva's most user-friendly, the best one, and your brand kit is specifically in Canva. So you'll have your exact colors, fonts, etc. And then obviously make it visually appealing, include the visuals, actionable steps, graphics, maybe some notes in there for them to journal or prompt. Ebooks, even if it's like an ebook of, a lot of information, a lot of medical information, you can still have like a section of actionable prompts that you can put in there or notes at the end, just so that they're interactive too with it. A lot of people like that. And then that kind of sets you up to use that same layout for your workbooks for your course. And then of course, proofing and finalizing, make sure medical accuracy, readability, aesthetic, and then if you want to include any, like PubMed or other types of references, like I was just speaking with someone today, it does put you guys in a higher category of being able to sell this more because you have the education, you have the board certification, you have the medical knowledge expertise where people will trust your opinion and what you're giving out over, someone who doesn't have as much experience and is just like an influencer, that has a few posts about it. So you want to add in like some research studies, like especially if you're doing like nutrition with pregnancy, you want to do some research studies on that, and have references linked for them. And then platforms for hosting and selling. Okay, so everyone has their own preference, but these are the ones that I've found have worked really well, and they're once again more user-friendly for not only your team who's helping you, but you as well. But the top two for hosting your online courses is Teachable and Kajabi. Best ones and easy to use and easy to navigate, and both have really good pros and cons. Both are pricey, but there are cheaper plans. So Teachable is more just for courses where you can sell multiple courses, but you also have to use like your own email campaign outside of it and your own like website out of it. So example, if you do MailChimp and WordPress, then you would do Teachable. If you want a platform where it's all in one, your email campaigns, blog, podcast, website, landing pages, and selling courses, Kajabi offers that. And that's the difference. And that is where, Kajabi kind of takes over in that sense, because then you can just keep everything in one spot and not have to worry about multiple platforms and multiple subscriptions. But it's really just based on your price preference. And, if you already have everything set up on your WordPress or MailChimp, then starting out with Teachable is great. But a lot of multi-million-dollar course creators who do this as their career use Kajabi for it because everything's in the same. And they also offer like community memberships and other things too. And then ebooks, Amazon, if you want to self-publish, Amazon Direct for Kindle publishing, Shopify. You can sell your ebooks on Shopify. You just need a specific app for the Shopify when you're setting it up. Etsy is really good too. I've done Etsy for my own digital products and did really well. Once again, cheap hosting fees, but you want to look at all these platforms and see what works best in your finances. And then, doing a stand store in your Instagram or your website, that also you can upload and link your products on that. And then your own website, of course, as well. Like WordPress has the option to do WooCommerce and such. And then just ensure the compatibility with all your devices. But it should usually say that on the platforms when you do research. Social media as your launch pad. So social media is one aspect of marketing. It's not everything. It's not the one way you're going to get sales, but it does offer that boost where you can do sales. But you want to make sure you are consistently posting your all your social media platforms like your Instagram, your YouTube, your Facebook business page, and your Facebook group if you have one. You want to make sure it's all branded and all aligned because you know, it's just you want to make sure everything flows. And you're consistently posting on the social media platforms that you choose because that's where you're going to be growing the audience. And that is one river, one funnel for sales that you can use, especially with ads and Meta, where you can use your content from Instagram and Facebook as ads. Excuse me. So yeah, so choose the right platforms. These ones are the best for setting up funnels and, growing your audience. Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, Pinterest, and YouTube. You may not think Pinterest, but Pinterest has sold a lot of products for people, especially digital products, courses and ebooks, because it's forever there. The links are forever there, and they will continue to pop up in people's searches because Pinterest is just a search engine, essentially. And your links will always be there. And rather than paying a 5-day campaign on Facebook for an ad, those will go away after 5 days unless you do another paid campaign. Pinterest, it's there all the time. And same with your social media as well. And you can tie in like DM automation programs like ManyChat. You want to use ManyChat when you're running ads and when you're selling products. Otherwise, it's kind of, I feel, in my opinion, a waste of getting a subscription of money because ManyChat is used for funnels and to bring in leads and to bring in growth and to bring in sales. So that's like the post that you see, comment the word course, and it'll send that person a link to the course landing page. So that is part of the funnel for the ads, and your, courses and ebook sales. So that is an option. But you want to make sure you are also consistent on your Instagram, and you're growing. You're seeing growth because, you know, just you might want to save money on the ManyChat account until you are consistently like growing. At least from what I've seen. You can always start it when you start out, but it just won't be as effective as it would if your account is favored by the algorithm and you're growing and getting that traffic. So yeah, you want to share your journey always on your social media behind the scenes to engage your audience. So specific to ebook and course is, a lot of course creators say, I've got something special coming in the works in the next month. Stay tuned. And then they show like them typing on a computer, doing like a module, like workbook, and then it like shows the audience, oh, new product, let me stay and see. And it captivates the audience. Like you're sharing your journey behind the scenes, creating something. And then when you launch it, they'll appreciate it more. It's just psychology of social media marketing and storytelling. A lot of course creators do that. And then, of course, using targeted ads, like I mentioned before, so you can reach specific audiences in a shorter amount of time. You can reach more audience and get growth. Honestly, I recommend after doing ads for specific workshops and courses and ebooks, it definitely is recommended to do ads because you get the sales. quicker than having to wait. But you do want to start doing your social media now and start being consistent because that is a stream of traffic and a stream of income. And then content marketing strategies. So yeah, driving the engagement interest. So you do want to create free content. This is prior to, excuse me, this is prior to selling your products. So this is going to be teasers for your products. You want to create blog posts, newsletters, short reel videos, digital freebies that are like miniature versions of your main product. And you want to give away some, and then you can even sell a few for like $1.99, 99 cents, just very simple so that you can kind of test it as well and see how your audience does with those types of topics. But yeah, creating free content and sharing and showing that you know what you're talking about is key. Always use testimonials. And then, from people that you share it with before the course, before you launch it, and then during the course launch, you always want to try to get testimonials, and follow-up email campaigns or during the course as a module at the end, have them do testimonials, just so that you can continue using that as content as well. And then collaborating with other influencers or other medical professionals for cross promotion, to share or create affiliate links for them. Like a client of mine is an affiliate for a charting online course for another doctor. So she gets like a percentage of, sales for that. You can do that as well, for your course. And a lot of people do that. Once they've sold a few courses and grown their audience. So, I'm sure some of you have heard this, the marketing strategy of pricing things at 7 or 9. It's just a marketing psychology strategy, like someone who offers $1,000 course compared to a $997. Obviously, they're going to buy the $997. So it just seems, and there's been so many, research studies like or experimental studies through all the course creators and ads managers that I've talked to that selling these products at a lower price with these price ranges do the best. Because essentially, people just want to buy cheaper. And then if you just package it with a lot of good material, multiple ebooks or multiple mini courses for a less price, the more you'll sell. And then the more they will continue to buy, and nurture as you create more courses and ebooks. And then bundle options. And you can use that as upselling, which you get your ROI back. You get more when you bundle and upsell at your checkout page. So like I mentioned before, here are the tools and resources again: Canva, Loom, Google Workspace, Zoom, Adobe. ClickFunnels is really good. Meta Ads, Samcart as well, and then Lead Pages. And then Zapier, ConvertKit, MailChimp for more of the email marketing and connecting the sales to your email marketing. So measuring success, analytics, and feedback. So after each course launch, and you can have different types of courses, which I'll go into in May, I believe. But I suggest doing evergreen, where it's just consistently selling throughout the year, like no live meetings, no weekly dripping of live meetings. So one, that saves you time to be with your family and do work and not burn you out. And two, you just can be sleeping and making the money while these funnels are working for you. And the ManyChat, the social media, the ads, everything can be working for you, and you don't have to show up, except of course when you initially create it. But you can just run it on autopilot. But after every like course launch, even if you do evergreen throughout the year, you can have course launches. So you could do like a Black Friday launch and just lower your price just for that week. You could do spring launch, just up the price, lower the price, so you can do multiple launches a year, even if you do evergreen. But after every launch that you do want to track your key metrics on everything in your ads, in your social media, your email marketing. You do want to stay organized and track because if you're seeing, lower ROI in anything, then maybe something needs to be changed in the way you're marketing your course, in the way you're talking in your email campaign, and the way the ad is. You need a different ad graphic creative, or you switch from a graphic creative to talking video in your ad. So just measuring all the key metrics of all these platforms throughout is very helpful, because then you know what to fix and where to fix it so that you can just optimize sales again and continue to better the sales. And this goes for ebooks and courses. And then, of course, collecting the feedback from customers for future improvements, doing surveys, like for the courses, pre-starting the course and post going through the course. Do little surveys. Google Forms are really helpful, and having your course students fill those out. That's been key, of being able to make adjustments in even the landing page, making it more user friendly for them and streamlined. And then, you know, this is hard work. Creating digital products, like in medical school, you weren't, this whole digital world wasn't as huge as it was, when all of you were going through medical school and, learning how to do the practice, how to work in a hospital, clinic, you guys didn't have to worry about social media and digital products and an online business. The world has definitely changed, but celebrate milestones. Like even creating an ebook is incredible and, such an accomplishment because you're going to be helping, hundreds to thousands to even millions of people on a daily basis. And you do that with your social media even now. But, just celebrate yourself and the hard work that you do because each product that you create is a milestone, for you and your business, and it's something to keep you continually in the gratitude mindset, so that you continue to outpour and produce, the best that you can produce. Um, but yeah, and then, celebrate those milestones and success, but always, look to see how you can do better and improve, on your content and copy and funnels. And then, how I can help you strategize digital products, what's worked, what's not for your brand specifically, freebies, ebooks, courses. I can create and design your digital products as well and help you. So now I'm going to stop sharing so that all of you can send in questions. And if you can't think of any questions, if you can't think of any questions now, don't worry. I'll put my email in the chat and feel free to ask me any questions anytime, and I'm happy to answer.
I will chime in and say from the courses that I've created, when I started Female Physician Entrepreneurs Group, I think the biggest mistake I did was not doing collecting emails right away.
Hmm.
And it wasn't until I reached over 8,000 of, members that I started
Wow.
collecting emails. So that's no matter where you are, the emails help. I can tell you, like even advertising for Taylor tonight, um, I did a few posts. They don't get traffic. Like social
Hmm.
media, in my perspective, this part of it is me. I'm not consistent. I'm not on social media every day, although I'm
Yeah.
trying to be lately. So what happens is that if you're not on consistently, the
Hmm.
logarithm doesn't favor you. If I go into a post, especially one with a link, it's not gonna be shown to many people. But that
Hmm.
email helps. So could I have sent out an email today to say we're meeting tonight? Definitely, it probably would have helped. I just do that Sunday newsletter. So my advice to you guys is
Hmm.
wherever you are is build up that social media, but as you're building it up, Taylor
Mhm.
had mentioned doing freebies, opt-ins, lead pages.
Mhm.
Get those emails too so that you have contact with them.
Yeah. And in the ad, in sales funnels, like I said before, social media is just one stream too. Like you said, not everyone's going to come that one stream. They're going to come from all different email, Facebook group, colleagues, So it's always good to, on all your sales funnels, um, sales page essentially when they check out to get their email. And you'll always have that email to be able to send targeted ads back, send email campaigns back, after they purchase. Oh, you bought this, you might like this product, you know. So just always keep that in mind. So that's a huge key is building your email list while building your social media while making these sales. Lots of steps.
Another mistake I made was having courses, and I've seen a lot of docs do this, was too much material. If you like the stats out there that most people do not finish a course, and I agree with
Mhm.
Taylor. If you have not done a course yet, I truly believe that Evergreen is the way to go. And then
Yeah.
you can have different tiers like Evergreen in the background. And
Hmm.
then maybe once a year or twice a year, you do coaching, like a cohort with that
Hmm.
to get like a higher price, but get that evergreen out first. But one thing to keep in mind, and Taylor can help you with that, is not overdoing it because when it's too much
Hmm.
material, they're like overwhelmed.
Hmm.
They're not going to get through it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why a lot of smaller ebooks are great, as well as the mini courses, like 3 modules or 6 modules, probably 3 modules. And you can put, a small 1 page to 2 page PDF guided workbook of information, resources, or prompts. It's very telling when you sell that as a first course compared to when you sell the big Kahuna Chief offer. Um, because you want to essentially kind of work your way up. And a lot of physicians make that mistake as they have like no social media presence, no, email list, and then they just want to sell a $3,000 course and then they expect to go viral and be a millionaire within the first launch. And it's like it's hard to convey that, it's the best marketing strategy is to go low, sell low ticket items, and then work up. And like Sharon said, and even doing cohorts. Like one of my client has different cohorts throughout the year for one course, but then, we're working on doing the evergreen on another course. But also you could even up the price as your chief offer because your core offer will be your online course itself. But if you want to make it like 5,000, 10,000 higher, that will be your chief offer and that will be the course plus one-on-one coaching with you or your course plus retreat. Your course, just extra you time that you would be able to dedicate. And that is completely tailored by you and your goals and what you want for your work balance, and your life balance. So there's so many different variations you can do. There's no one wrong way or right, no wrong or right way. It's just what works best for you, your audience, and the people that you're selling to. And that's with anything like social media, with the ebooks, the courses. You just kind of have to do trial and error. But once you get it, once you get the right audience, once you get the right wording, it's a gold mine. So don't feel discouraged.
At the beginning slides, I don't know who had seen it, but there were some courses there listed for $79. And you could think, I don't want to do a course for $79. It's probably great value. There's probably not a ton of information in there. Probably didn't take that long, but whatever value there is, it's good. Like it's good value.
Yeah.
And then there's volume. And besides for that, it like gives you the experience of
Mhm.
doing a course, selling it.
Yeah. And even like selling a hundred, 100 people buying 79 courses gets you 7,900. So right under 10,000 a month. So you got to think that too. People will buy the cheaper price, especially those cold leads. But the more you sell, the more you become that thought leader and well known, and the more you do ads where they're just seeing your face all over the place, then they'll be more likely to buy, that 5 to 10K offering. So it's just the taking them on the marketing sales journey with you. And it's also not overwhelming for physicians because all of you are entrepreneurs, a lot of you are mothers, some of you are single mothers. So you only have a certain amount of time to work on your digital products. And so it doesn't overwhelm you when you do it step by step. And one of my mentors, I have two mentors for courses and digital products, and it's Maria Wendt, Wendt. I've taken all her courses and I'm in her group and coaching. And then I am in the Boss Babe with Natalie. And both of them, low ticket offers and then work your way up, hone in, really, specialize in that. And then you work your way up and add in that core and chief offer, both of them. And it took them a while, both of them, to get to where they're at today, making multi-million-dollar months. But it's possible. Like we've seen it not just for the gurus like them, but we've seen it for, modern day physicians that just go all in the course making, and go less in the clinic. They're able to quit and just go be a course creator and digital product and social media physician influencer. So we've seen it happen, especially the last 4 years. It's just really tailoring it to you, your goals, and your time and what you want out of this.
Lori, do you have a question? Lena, CD, Amy, Sarita?
I do. So what was your, I didn't, maybe you put this in your introduction, but I didn't, it's not sticking. Before you did the medical minder, what was your area?
Yeah. So I'm kind of a little bit of a renaissance. So I worked in the medical aspect. I worked as medical assistant scribe in hospitals and clinics, so
Mhm.
alongside doctors. But during the 10 years before that, I was doing my own brand and I was working with various like PR marketing firms and then a TEDx firm. So I was able to learn all the different aspects of the marketing and then apply it to my own brand. And then while I was working for doctors as their medical assistant, scribe, phlebotomist, they saw what I was producing and they're like, oh, can you do my website? Can you host my wine and hormone women's events? And can you do my social media? So I started not only doing mine, but working on their in the background while I'm doing their medical assisting. And then from there, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to build a business because, and after everything that happened in 2020, it just burnt out. I was seeing all these doctors, what was going on in the hospitals and practices, and it was just too much. They weren't around their families. It was just like killing their soul. Like the joy of medicine, the joy of teaching, got stripped. And so I was like, oh, well, have you tried digital products? Have you tried building your online? And so I started working. I left the hospital and then fully built the medical minder and put all my experience, my bachelor's in integrative medicine, that experience, my medical experience, and then the marketing all together. And then now I've worked with, I think about a hundred different physicians, a few nurse practitioners throughout the years, but it's mainly been physicians, and all different businesses from like physician hosted Airbnb. So I learned all that managing Airbnbs and then, like scrub company, physician retreats, and all different types of businesses. And it's been fascinating. Because it's not only like their specialty, their medical specialty, but it's also everything in their businesses. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Taylor built up her own social media as well. Taylor, I'm not saying anything that you haven't seen. Has an autoimmune disease, so started an account on all about autoimmune and really took off and did well.
Yeah. So my medical minder social media, like I was getting referrals for medical minder without having a website or social media for a few years. But then last year I was like, oh, I probably should have an Instagram, and do it for myself. So it's slowly building again, but I need to nurture it more, and be consistent. But yeah, my main like blogging and social media was for my chronic illness and speaking to the chronic illness community, the patients. But through that, I connected with so many physicians as well and did like symposiums, got asked to speak at symposiums with doctors talking about, post-COVID different like aspects of chronic illness, how it affected. It was in like a documentary. Did podcast interviews, wrote articles that were published. So it that experience, it just started for me wanting to help the patients, which will most likely be almost all of you, like your client, your patient, you want to help. You have this gift inside you that you want to share and help. And that's how it started for me. And that's why I'm just so passionate about this because I saw what it just took off. And I wasn't even like strategizing really. I was just teaching myself and learning. And people want to hear your story. People want to learn from you. Um, and they want to build that relationship with you, especially now, post-pandemic when everyone was kind of like isolated more. They're craving that trusting relationship and learning and guidance. So now is like the time to really get on it where you really do build your brand and do your storytelling and share your expertise because it's a real need. And especially with all the health information, where your expertise will outshine just random posts and stuff. So yeah.
Anything else, Lena, Amy?
Hi. Yeah, I have a question if you have time. Regarding the email list. Once you have the email list, how often, well, two questions. How often do you recommend sending out the newsletter or the email? And then also, like, what advice do you have on the type of content that you should send?
Yeah. So it all depends, of course, on general statement. It all depends on your offerings, your business, and your
Hmm.
products. But a lot of, because there's different types of newsletters that is part of a strategy and marketing, well, your marketing strategy. One, your nurture sequences where you just keep educating, keep nurturing your list, sharing updates, sharing helpful blog posts that you've written, sharing some
Hmm.
content. And then there's the sales,
Hmm.
email, newsletters, campaigns, where you want to do like 5 to 7, 3, 5, 7 emails, that launch week that you launch your product. And then you do follow up. Um, and you can create like each person's going to be different with their follow-up amount of emails, but there's different types of email campaigns, but just a general newsletter to start things going and even to
Hmm.
share some of the products or your coaching, to share your
Hmm.
coaching to your patients or anyone in your email list.
Hmm.
A lot of people do at least once a week because then
Hmm.
at least or twice a month. That I feel like are two really good, consistent just reminding people that, oh, you're there. Oh, here's
Hmm.
some resources. That's right. And especially like on your specific topics, different awareness months for
Yeah.
OBGYN, for
Hmm.
pregnancy awareness, fertility awareness, it just depends.
Hmm.
Like even if you, of course, get a signed release, but sharing content like transformational stories of your patients,
Hmm.
which once again, HIPAA, you have to HIPAA, make sure it's HIPAA compliant, and also get the release where you can tell a story as the
Hmm.
transformation, how you helped, her during her pregnancy coaching, pre, post, after. You
Hmm.
can send emails like that, and that also can lead into your coaching sales. Those are the best. And then also just quick short ones, update and then put the links on the bottom. So it's really just building that strategy and what's that's more of like a marketing strategy session,
Mhm.
one-on-one, where we build out the funnel, build out the sales, build out timeline and how many things you need. But usually 1 to 2 times per month, well, 1 to 2 times at the least, and then like 4 times a month, which is once per week.
Mhm.
People do it.
Okay, thank you. That's really helpful.
Yeah,
I'm sending it out twice a month now, but just
perfect.
trying to find that balance of adding value, doing the education, but then
Yeah.
also doing the call to action and
Mhm.
promotion. So just trying to learn how to
Yeah.
balance all of that.
Yeah, so even though you're doing twice per month, you can always put your social media links, your website, and your product link, always link it like at the
Mhm.
end.
Okay.
Even if you just kind of mention your coaching, like, oh, need additional resources, need additional help, guidance, you know, have like a little section, always just talking about your coaching so that they're just always seeing it. But then, of
Okay.
course, when you do the sales heavy transformation testimonial, or a lesson that you learned going into it, how you can help your audience figure out that pain point, then you go into it. So just always kind of mention and put it in there, so that they
Thank
see.
you. I'll
Yeah,
start doing that. Thanks.
yeah,
I have a question actually,
yes.
Taylor.
Hi.
Hi. So, when you are starting paid ads, do you
Yeah.
recommend kind of starting off small and getting like a proof of concept and proof of sale? Or, I mean, is that not necessary? Because, it seems like there's so much you can do. I mean, it's infinite how much money you can put into it. So, how do you kind of, I guess, like titrate that up?
Yeah. So it's always good, and I'm gonna do a detailed workshop on ads too for you guys, and what would be really recommended, but just an overview real quick. It's really good to do. Oh, there you are.
Yeah,
Uh,
sorry.
it's really good to do shorter campaigns, like 3-day campaign, testing out 3 different ad graphics, all different designs, but with the same
Mhm.
copy, meaning the same caption that you put with it. Test it for
Mhm.
3 days at $5 a day, so that Meta separates the $5 or allocates the $5 total for all 3 ads. And then after the 3 days, the best performing ad Meta will allocate the most funds to, and you'll see in the metrics. You'll use that ad for a longer campaign, like a 5-day campaign for sales for your actual product. And then you can kind of see, and test. That's an easy way to test, and run it, so that you can see higher sales from what did well in the 3 days.
Do you have like an estimate of like how much media spend you should do like per day?
It really, I mean, you
Like starting
want,
out.
well, starting out, do the lowest, like $5. But when you start to sell like $97 courses or higher, you want to make that money back instead of losing all your money. So you'll want to, unfortunately, the way Meta works is the more you spend on ads, the more leads you get, the more sales you get, the quicker you get. The less amount that you spend on it, the slower it goes to get those sales. So you'll have to have it running longer, which then you'll end up spending more money. So I know it's really confusing kind of, but hopefully I'm explaining it. So you'll want to start out $5, then
Five
go
dollars a day.
15. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe go 15 and then go up to 50 and 100 for your higher priced, and do it for, you can do it for like 5 to 7 days, and then you can even try it for more than 7 days. But starting out 5, then 15, 50, and then 100.
So
Because
like the first day 5, then 15.
the
Is that what
first
you're saying?
campaign, yeah, so I'm talking campaign. So
Mhm.
especially if you're building your leads and then seeing which creatives works and which audience and interests that you're targeting, like the target audience, because you sometimes may have to tweak the copy, you may have to tweak the ad creative, and you may have to tweak the actual audience interests that you set up, like women over 50 who like, who like motivational books, you might have to tweak those things and see and try different ones. So you want to keep it cheap. And then once you really just get high percentages on certain ones, the ROI, and there's a few other metrics that you want to get higher, and you see that consistently going in these campaigns, then you can up it to the 50 to 100, because then you'll be converting and you're not wasting your money, and you're getting these sales quicker.
So when you say campaigns, do you mean like that's a specific ad?
Yeah. So
Okay,
so
got it.
I'll be going through all this too in a workshop, I think after May. But so a campaign is the whole ad that you're doing. So the campaign, and then you have an ad that you create. So that's a graphic, a reel with your copy. And so that campaign, you run that one specific video of you being like, hey, buy this ebook for 5 days. That's one campaign, and then it ends. And then
Okay.
the next ad that you run, so campaign is like an umbrella term. And then
Uh-huh.
the ads, because you can have multiple in a campaign running. It's like an umbrella term. So each one is
Yeah.
a campaign.
Okay. Makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Anything else? Taylor, this has been wonderful as always.
Thanks. I'm so glad I could help. Thank you so much. And if you come up with questions after, please email me. Happy to answer you. Answer any questions.
All right. Like I said, always, it's been wonderful. Uh, Ladies, we meet once a month here. Let me just tell you what's going on next month. For our schedule for next month, I'll give you the date that we have. We have March 24th, 7 p.m. Most of our sessions are going to be at 7 p.m. And Taylor's going to be talking about sales funnels and social media made simple, a
Yeah.
strategy session for physicians. So that'll be next month. So make sure you're following their newsletter, and I'll do an event in the group, and I'll also post on social media.
Thank you. Well, I hope you all have a beautiful night. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
See you.
Have
Bye-bye.
a great night. Thank you.
Bye, guys.